How I got into franchising was actually kind of a long-winded story, but the short version is I was actually a corporate finance guy originally, and my father had founded Anago back in 1989, but it wasn't until 2009 that he said, I think I got the tiger by the tail on this thing. I think you should come check it out, and that was. Um, Right around in 2009 when the real estate bubble had burst, and I was actually on the team at a previous company of people who were conducting kind of the layoffs. I had employee names. I didn't have employee names. I had employee numbers, um, and it really I don't know, it registered with me pretty deeply, and it felt like something where it was good to be on the team, working through that this time, but I knew that I could be on the proverbial chopping block at a future time if God forbid something went wrong again in the future. And it didn't sit well with me, and so coming into kind of a family business, um, granted it being in franchising, seemed to be the route for me. What I love most about the franchising industry is probably that there's literally no 2 days that are alike. I mean, I probably, I range, at least in my role, from one day working in finances to the next day, putting together a fun marketing plan, to another day working with some sort of operational challenge. Um, I've had jobs in the past where it felt like every Monday felt like the same day, and every Tuesday felt like the same day. And in franchising, because you have all the different personalities and the different constituents, in that you have your customers, you have your franchisees, literally every day is always a different day. To be a good fit for the franchise industry, I mean, first and foremost, you have to be driven. If you're a business owner, right, you own your own business, and so there's not going to be anybody on any particular day that you don't have a boss. You are your own boss, and now you have obviously the infrastructure of the franchisor and the brand that the franchisor has helped create. But every morning, I mean, particularly in our industry, you have to get up and be excited about going to your own business. You don't have any people that are going to push you harder other than yourself. And so you have to be, I think, an incredibly driven person in order to be successful, both frankly as a franchisor and a franchisee, because nobody's going to do it for you. It doesn't come under the proverbial Christmas tree. I think the franchising industry has really shown its true colors of kind of community and helpfulness more than in any time in our history since the COVID-19 pandemic began. I've met with franchisors and franchisees over the past year and a half, and all the stuff that everyone's kind of been able to come together, and people from different industries, different brands, even different lines of different service lines or different offerings, have all come together and just helped each other and said, hey, you're a franchise, I'm a franchise, you need supplies for this, I might have cleaning for that, or staff to help you with this. It's just been incredible, I think, what we've been able to do as an industry. And I think it shows how giving franchise brands are when it really comes down to it, right? Because if someone was an individual business, and obviously COVID's affected everybody, some of these people, potentially a lot of people, I would imagine, went out of business because of COVID. And I would love to see the statistics, but I would imagine that most franchise businesses were able to, even if there was some closures. I mean, it was obviously a crazy time in the world. I would imagine that most, more franchise businesses, with aid from their franchisor and obviously all the governmental programs, we're able to remain open and hopefully, as things reopen, begin thriving again than non-franchise businesses. I think one of the challenges that we as an industry are dealing with, it's really is less pandemic related and a lot more perception related. We see with California's AB5 and some of the stuff that we're hearing in Washington about the PRO Act it is people, the general public and the politicians tend to perceive franchise brands as some mega corporation, with millions of people and millions of dollars, and that's just not franchising. The perception of franchising is, I think, is incorrect. We're all typically small independent businesses that have independent P&Ls. We have independent operations, and we're just able to use the synergy of the brand in order to grow faster than a typical business. And so it's overcoming that perception in the political world and to some degree with consumers, to make sure they know that when you buy from a franchise, you're buying local. You're buying from a local entrepreneur, business owner in your neighborhood. The advice I would give to any other young up and comer in the franchising space right now is probably a couple points. Number one, don't be afraid to get your hands dirty. You need to know everything there is about your business if you're going to be climbing the ranks in a particular franchise brand. I, for one, when I joined Anago, my first job at Anago, I was cleaning every night as part of my training, and quite literally was getting my hands dirty. I would say the second piece would be, don't be afraid to be the squeaky wheel. You have to speak up, and even if you're a young person, your opinion matters. Your intelligence is valued, and there's a way to do it without being blunt or rude, but being forward and forward thinking with your ideas, I think, is critical as a young person in the franchising realm.